Sorry. It is by Deborah Viner. It's from a blog called Child of Mine. It's actually about her daughter dying. So it starts by saying, "Thanks for coming. How Chloe would have adored this. All this love and all these people gathered together just for her. Chloe loved this stage, and here she is, right at the center of it. She'll be looking down on us and saying, 'Oh no, Hannah, it's Mom. She's so attention-seeking. She's so embarrassing.' Mom will use that awful posh telephone voice, and she's bound to cry and say something totally lame about me. Hannah, please stop her. Yes, Chloe sure liked to help us oldies and keep us oldies in check, and delighted in telling me and Simon exactly where it was that we were going wrong, how we missed that. So probably apologize to both my daughters, and my eulogy will probably do all of the above. It will also be woefully inadequate in capturing the spirit of my beautiful, feisty, and amazing young daughter. But I promise that despite the most savage and intense grief, I will focus upon Chloe's life, a short life that, thank God, was exceptionally well lived. Born 25th of January 1995, she shot into the world determined to make her presence felt. She was a noisy baby, a tantrum-filled toddler, and sometimes a nightmare little girl. In short, she was bursting with life and passion. She was argumentative, exasperating, and totally adorable. Chloe, Hannah, and I were joined in vice like bond from the very beginning. We absolutely adored each other, and of course still do. Chloe's beauty, charm, and independent spirit meant that I was wrapped around her little finger from the very beginning, as were so many others, as she exploited it dreadfully. She just had a way about her. I'm sorry, Mr. Wardley, I know that I ought to have helped you to mold Chloe into a diligent student. She was undeniably bright and full of potential, but I wasn't much of a disciplinarian. I indulged both my daughters from the start, but I had hoped it was the blanket of love and certainty that helped give Chloe the spirit, the resilience, and the courage to carry on living and really living in quite a spectacular way for the 3 years of her illness. Deep down, she probably knew that her lifespan was limited, but in her words, why go there? By 15, Chloe had blossomed into a beautiful young woman, leggy, with dark, tingling curls and huge green eyes. The world was at her feet, but little did we all know that all hell was breaking loose inside her body. In February 2010, Chloe was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a rare and aggressive form of bone cancer that tends to affect tall adolescent boys and slim, willowy girls. We were brought down by chance in a million, a lottery win in reverse. There's no luck for this illness. There's no reason for this illness, no genetic links, just pure bad luck. So how did she respond? Typically, she told me to man up, as she said about identifying all the hot boys on the cancer ward. And there were beautiful boys, 2 of them. I'm so happy to see her here today. Strangely, we had some good times on that ward and bonded as a part of an exclusive club, yet a club that no sane person willing applied to join. There were some very dark times to come, and I'd be lying if I said we didn't at times drift into despair. But Chloe would always bounce back and quickly came to deal with her treatments in the same breezy, cheerful manner, planning it carefully around drama lessons, parties, and commodering of Hannah's ID card to felicitate Chloe's illegally entry into Shush nightclub in Croton. Sterile surgical gloves that the NHS funded to assist Chloe's cancer treatments were instead used for fake tan applications. In full makeup and looking totally wonderful, Chloe would stick her arm out as the nurse pumped blood out or medications in. She didn't do pain, she wasn't squeamish, and the nurse would have barely removed the last needle from her arm, and she'd be up and off out with her friends into Croydon until 3 or 4 in the morning. Literally nothing would stop her. I'm so proud of that spirit. I can barely hold back tears when I think of how her dearest friends surrounded her with a cloak of love, fun, and comfort. When Chloe was too ill to go out, they'd all stay in with her, and when Chloe was better off, they all went. quite a big deal for girls of 15 and 16 when the world is so exciting. Chloe packed a lifetime of fun into those 3 years because she had such good friends. You were so young, and you are so young, but you dealt with it very poorly, friend with maturity way beyond our years. I suspect you all saw me as a soft touch as my eyes would light up as much as yours as I saw the beauty of all heading off somewhere great and exciting. I think I got as much of watching this as you did going. Lips to odd drink, opening the front door at 6 a.m. in the morning, no problem. They were some of the happiest times watching my daughter have fun with such wonderful young people and knowing that it all probably wouldn't last. There were real intensity for me in those moments, and I really can't thank all my friends enough. On Mother's Day, just gone, that fell just a few days after Chloe's death. Sarah, Olivia, Rosie, and Sophia sent me a card from my adopted daughters. I broke down in tears upon opening this card. I've done a lot of crying over the past few years, but this card really got to me. I so miss the way you filled our house with the vitality of your young lives. I have no worries that you'll be back to tell us about your fantastic careers, boyfriends, and of course you know how much I love babies. Chloe was just too important to us all, and we all shared some really intense memories. I hope that in time those memories hurt less and inspire more. Chloe didn't see her dearest friends in the last few weeks of her life. That was only because she wanted you to remember her with a big smile, high heels, and a far too short a skirt. Chloe did, the Chloe you all, the Chloe you and we all loved. She spent her final days with me, Hannah, Roman, Simon, and Ralph. She gave us many gifts in those last few precious days, including telling me that I looked 10 years younger, very unlike Chloe, and so I suspected the morphine was speaking when she said that. Chloe didn't do cancer and didn't do depression either. As we neared the end, we snuggled up in her room and watched those dreadful Orange County Housewife programs and wonderful Mike Lee films. She was poorly at times, but not that often. We ate fish and chips, and still applied makeup and faked tan, and I laughed lots, and little Roman would be bouncing around in the middle of it all. Rosemary, Zoe knew that you were there with us in Germany, and there was a huge comfort in knowing that you could have called any time and you would be there. Zoe and Chloe Ridgway, you were there with us every step of the way, and Chloe knew that you loved her so much. You were like an extra mom and extra sister. Jacob, your sister, loved you very much, and she knew how much you wanted to see her. She just couldn't, but she did now. Chloe's spirit in the face of such adversity was startling and amazing. My daughter taught me to seize and live every moment. Don't sweat the small stuff, and accept when you can't change things. She really is my inspiration. She took herself off Facebook when she couldn't join anymore, and then buried herself right in the love of her family and how we love that. It was a privilege to care for her, and she showed such skill in protecting herself from emotional harm. Amazingly, most days she was happy despite everything. Some of Chloe's treatments were horrific, involved long, painful stays in the hospital, but she still managed to put cancer in a small box in the corner of her mind. She'd be horrified if I ever suggested that she go on a trip with other children with cancer, but she would occasionally play with cancer cards when the benefits were too obvious to resist, like emotionally blackmailing us into buying her a puppy. We lost that fight pretty quickly. Getting to meet Prince William and advise Catherine on false eyelash applications. Persuading Paul Clark, the CEO of Pensa Consulting, to employ her at Eaton an hour, effectively Pensa transferring cash to Zara and Top Shelf, but via Chloe Jury's bank account. And persuading me to let her go out clubbing the night before her science GCSE exam. Oops, I forgot to tell Simon about that one. Never mind. Chloe died as she lived, complaining little and trying to see the positive at the reduced landscape of life. I lost my best friend and half my hopes and dreams. Hannah, you have the other half. My family and I will never get over this. We don't want to get over it. Our challenge is to accept her death into the narrative of our lives without destroying anything else with our grief. But at the same time, our story has been so life-affirming, and we have been surrounded by most wonderful love and support from a huge range of friends and family. You have held me up when I had no defenses left, and I know that you will continue to do so. There are far too many to thank here and now, but you know who you are. My husband Simon and my daughter Hannah have been my absolute rocks, and baby Roman a ray of sunshine to us all. Hannah, we are so proud that you looked after your sister, and we're most especially sad that we couldn't save her for you. We did try very, very hard. There is one person I do want to mention, David Thomas, who lost his son Daniel, the classic scholar at Oxford, not long before Chloe died, to the same illness, Ewing's sarcoma. Despite this, you have been a constant source of comfort to me and sometimes a partner in crime as we fight the various ludicrous systems that prevent our children getting the right treatments at the right time. One doctor once remarked that our consultant had the worst of luck when he had a lawyer and journalist joining forces against him. Oh well. Chloe's care at the end of her life was amazingly well managed. The palliative care team at the Marsden and our wonderful community nurses settled into our eccentric little world, and we all seemed to have a jolly good time most of the time. Their support was so fantastic that even my emotionally stunted husband Simon finds it impossible to speak of them even now without starting to cry. I read the other day that there are worse emotions to have to live than with sadness. However vast and deep that sadness might be, it can be uplifting, invigorating, strengthening, and above all, a powerful reminder of how much Chloe matters and always will. My family and I will work hard to ensure we turn our current debilitating grief over her loss into something positive and worthwhile. Outside our home, the care offered for teenagers with cancer like Chloe isn't good enough. Access to new treatment is sporadic and filled with many unnecessary obstacles. Chloe was treated on a severely outdated protocol, and this needs to change. Donations today are to the wonderful Teenage Cancer Trust. We're pleased that Simon Davis, Chief Executive of the Teenage Cancer Trust, is with us today. You'll notice that he has his suits tailored with extra deep pockets. So today, many of you wish to force donation checks upon him today. He will still have room to carry them all away. Chloe was my inspiration. I am determined to do something good in her name. Chloe once said to me with a smile and with her usual searing honesty, Mom, I've caused you so much trouble, I bet you wish I had never been born. Nothing can be further from the truth. If before you were born, Chloe, I could have gone to heaven and seen all the beautiful souls, I still would have chosen you. If somebody would have warned me this soul will one day need extra care, I still would have chosen you. If they have said this soul would make me question the depth of my faith, I still would have chosen you. If they would have told me this soul would make tears flow from my eyes, that world overflow a river, I still would have chosen you. And if they would have told me Chloe's time here on earth would be short, I still would have chosen you. So to answer you, yes, Chloe, you certainly cause a lot of trouble, but just give me the chance, and I'll do it all over again like a shot. I'm absolutely honored to be your mother, and I love you with all my heart.